Archangel Michael says, the long-awaited answer has arrived. The miracle you've prayed for is now before you. Open your heart to receive it. Your guardian angel is pleading with you, do not turn away, my precious child. You were destined to find this message. Not later, not soon, but in this very instant. Heaven has entrusted me with a gift reserved only for you, bearing your name. It holds the reply to the prayers you've wept, the longing your soul has carried in the quiet. Today, heaven has permitted its release. But I ask one thing of you, do not retreat now. Each time you've passed by a sign like this, a divine moment was postponed, not denied, merely held. Yet today is different, for the waiting has ended. The delivery is complete, resting now at the threshold of your spirit. Yes, the miracle has been delivered. And I, Archangel Michael, implore you, open your soul, open your eyes, and accept what is already yours. If your spirit stirs even slightly, acknowledge it now, for the words to come are not merely a message. They are a sacred transfer from heaven to earth, intended for you alone. My child, the angels are not surprised you are reading this. They have waited with divine patience for your readiness, not for you to be perfect, but prepared. And now you are. How much sorrow has lived in your waiting? How many nights have you gazed upward and whispered, when, Lord? How often have you witnessed others blessed and wondered, has heaven overlooked me? But I tell you now, you were never forgotten. We were preparing something that required divine timing, not as punishment, but for perfection. What awaits you is not small, nor is it fleeting. This is not a temporary blessing. It is a heavenly shift, a new era, a sacred redirection. And you, yes, you, have been chosen to step into it. Beloved, I have witnessed every heartbreak, every concealed tear behind a smile, every silent moment when prayer felt too heavy. Not one tear went unnoticed. You believed your prayers hit a silent ceiling, but they were not ignored. They were gathered, echoed in the halls of heaven, and now the final response is here. Do not bypass this moment, for within these words lies a key to unlock the next door. If you turn away, the door may remain closed a while longer. But if you stay, if you open your heart completely, that door will swing wide, and the miracle will meet you like a rushing wind. My child, someone watches over you from the realms of light, someone you love who has passed from this earth. They have seen your patient endurance, and they whisper to me now, tell them I see them. Tell them I have guided this all along. You are not alone. The energy you felt recently, the pull in your spirit, the voice in your dream, that was real. All of it was leading to this moment, this confirmation, this arrival. For heaven's miracle has finally reached your path, and your name is engraved upon it. Soon, people around you will not understand the new light you carry. They will ask what has changed, and you will struggle to explain, for what comes is not of human origin. It is from heaven. It is not earned by merit nor granted by connection. It is bestowed because of who you are, a chosen vessel, a child of divine destiny. This is your moment of awakening. Beloved, a celestial wind moves through your life now. Even if all appears still on the surface, even if yesterday's circumstances seem unchanged, remember, heaven does not operate by visible evidence alone. I have walked beside you in the unseen, commanding angels to clear your path even in your sleep. Some prayers have not yet manifested, not because they were refused, but because they were being guarded, for sometimes the soul must be made ready to hold what the heart has longed for. That moment of readiness is now. This is no random message. There are no coincidences in heaven's timeline. This is your confirmation, the whisper behind the veil now becoming a trumpet blast across the sky. It is the signature of the divine written upon your destiny in letters of flame and radiance. Understand this, the delay was not disqualification. It was divine preparation. You were not forgotten, you were being refined. Every closed door honed your discernment. Every lonely night purified your heart. Every seemingly unanswered prayer built a spiritual endurance that now enables you to carry what is coming, and it approaches swiftly. Some shifts have already begun. That unexplained lift in your spirit, that surge of energy amid exhaustion, that sudden peace without earthly cause, these were not small signs. They were heralds of this moment. And now here we stand, you, I, the angels, and the great cloud of heavenly witnesses who have championed you all along. My child, I have seen you holding on, quietly, faithfully, with a hope that trembled yet remained. Let every fiber of your being know, your hope was never in vain. I have stood beside you in moments you felt unseen, through hours when your chest ached with waiting, through prayers whispered with doubt. Heaven's gaze never left you. You were never invisible to God. Your name is etched in His vision, spoken in the courts of heaven, your spirit tended as a sacred flame that must not be extinguished. You have been tested, yet you have also been chosen. You walked through fires that would have consumed others, and you emerged with your soul still shining. The enemy whispered that nothing was changing, but I tell you, the silence was never God's absence. It was the sound of divine rearrangement, the stillness before the trumpet blast. And now, beloved, the trumpet sounds. What you enter now is extraordinary, a shift that bends natural order, a breakthrough that will leave others wondering at its speed. But you will know. You will remember this message, this hour, and say, this is where it began. For even now, the angel assigned to your life is activating the next phase of your destiny. An angel stands in your space as you read this, whispering commands to the atmosphere, orchestrating a movement of light around you. Something is being delivered to you, not in some distant future, but now. It may not yet be visible, but in the spirit, the transaction is complete. Heaven has released it. The seal is broken. The answer is out. Your only task is to remain aligned. Do not walk away. Do not grow distracted. Do not dismiss this as just another message, for this one is different. This is the moment heaven has orchestrated across months, perhaps years. Your guardian angel has guarded it like a sealed scroll, awaiting the signal. That signal has now been given. I know how weary you have been, carrying burdens not meant for you alone. You have wept in empty rooms, smiled while your heart quietly fractured, yet you never fully released the belief that something greater was coming. That is why this message found you, why heaven would not let you miss it. This is the confirmation your soul has craved. You were not foolish to believe. You were not wrong to hope repeatedly, even when the visible world urged surrender. You were guided. While the enemy whispered lies, heaven was working behind the veil. I witnessed the resistance, the delays, and I shielded you from the worst. Traps were dismantled, harmful words silenced, dark plans thwarted, because your name is inscribed on the scroll of divine preservation. You were never abandoned, you were hidden with purpose. When something is rare, heaven wraps it with care. When a destiny is great, it must be guarded. That is why certain people departed, why doors closed, why love was not returned as it should have been. It was not your fault, it was protection. A divine filtering was at work. God was not punishing you, He was preserving the purity of your spirit for the chapter you now enter, the chapter one have come to announce, which begins today. This is not merely a turning point. It is a divine detonation. Something you thought had died will bloom. Something you believed had passed you by will return, now bearing heaven's seal. This is the part of your story where winds change direction, where what was lost is restored, where silence shatters, and where those who opposed you will whisper in confusion, "How did this happen so suddenly?" But you, beloved, will know. You will remember this moment. A sacred stirring surrounds your life now. Pause and sense it, subtle as a whisper through night branches, gentle yet constant. It is not of this world. You have been so focused on surviving that you nearly forgot how to perceive the atmosphere, but heaven has not forgotten. Heaven has awakened the winds on your behalf. The unseen is already in motion. Behind the scenes, names are being erased from rooms where you were once rejected, and your name is being written into divine spaces beyond your current understanding. That disorientation you felt lately. It is not because something is wrong, but because your soul senses elevation before it manifests. The ground beneath you is not shaking because you are falling, it is shifting because you are rising. And you are not rising slowly, you are about to soar. The coming chapter will bear no resemblance to the last. Pain that seemed permanent will become a distant memory. Confusion will clear, heaviness will lift. Doors that once mocked you with their stillness will open with such grace that you will weep, not from sorrow, but from holy awe. You will not recognize the version of you about to emerge, for heaven's work is not merely external blessing, it is transformation from within. Your voice will carry new authority, your presence will disrupt darkness. You will walk into rooms and feel the atmosphere shift, not because of who you've tried to be, but because of who heaven declares you are. You were never created to be overlooked, never built to remain in the background. The enemy sought to dim your light by breaking your confidence, surrounding you with betrayal, exhausting you with repeated disappointment. But it failed, for here you are, still breathing, still standing, still believing. And for that, you will be honored in full view. The same ones who overlooked your worth will witness your name being called. Those who dismissed your struggle will see your supernatural rise. This is not revenge, it is restoration. Heaven's restoration is kind, quiet, powerful, undeniable, and unstoppable. There are times heaven sends silence not to punish, but to protect what is still being written. You have dwelled in that silence, the kind that makes you question your worth, your prayers, your purpose, the kind that makes time feel louder than God. But understand this, spoken with all the authority entrusted to me. Silence from God is not absence. It is preparation. Every time you felt overlooked, you were being covered. Every closed door was not rejection, it was redirection. Divine rerouting. You have been led through a maze not because God was confused about your future, but to steer you around enemy traps you never saw. You may never know what dangers you avoided, what battles were fought in the spirit, what curses were broken before they reached you. But I saw them. I fought some with my own sword. And now, as I stand beside you with heaven's wind surrounding us, I declare, the path is clear. The hour has come. What God releases cannot be undone. You are stepping into a divine appointment inscribed before your birth. That is why nothing else fit. That is why, no matter how hard you tried to belong, you never fully did. You were not meant to blend in, you were meant to break molds. You were born to shift atmospheres. That is why the enemy targeted you early. He saw the mark upon you, the anointing, the glow before you knew it yourself. He tried to dim your light through trauma, rejection, betrayal, loneliness. But he did not understand, pressure only makes diamonds brighter. And you, beloved, are a diamond forged in fire. You are not fragile, you are anointed. You are not lost, you are hidden for such a time as this. That time, long awaited, prophesied, angel-backed, stands before you now. The miracle is not approaching, it is already here, delivered, unsealed, authorized. It stands at the door of your life, knocking. Heaven watches to see if you will open in trust or turn away in fear. Everything is about to make sense, not only spiritually, but even in your memory. The pain that seemed senseless, the loss without explanation, the delay that broke your heart, all will align like puzzle pieces falling into divine place. You have asked, why did I go through so much? Heaven's response is no longer silence, it is revelation. You had to be set apart to be lifted up. You had to be broken open so the oil within could flow. Had you not endured, you would never have discovered the power buried deep in your spirit. But God knew. I knew. And now that power is rising. Gifts you never recognized are about to surface. That is why your atmosphere trembles. That is why those who once ignored you now sense your presence from afar. They feel the shift, the calling, the weight of heaven resting upon you like a crown they cannot comprehend. What comes next cannot be copied or faked. This blessing is marked with your name alone. No one else can carry it, wear it, or open the scroll sealed for your hands. The enemy exhausted every tactic to wear you down before this moment. He wielded discouragement as a weapon, made your dreams seem foolish, whispered lies through familiar voices, hoping you would forget what heaven whispered to your soul in the quiet. But you did not forget, not truly. Even in doubt, a small ember of hope glowed beneath the ashes. That ember, beloved, is why this miracle has found you. You are not behind. You are on divine time. This massive, stunning, undeniable breakthrough has already begun unfolding in the spirit. In the coming days, you will feel it in your being. You will wake differently. You will see signs, names, numbers, divine patterns. You will dream things that come to pass. You will receive messages too precise to be coincidence, because they are not. They are instructions. Pay close attention. This is the hour heaven teaches you how to carry what is yours. This is the hour you begin to feel like your true self again, not the version shaped by life, but the one designed by heaven. Do not underestimate what unfolds. It may begin small, a strange coincidence, a name heard repeatedly, an unexpected offer, a lingering dream. But pay attention, for what seems minor is evidence of alignment. Heaven does not always announce miracles with a skyward trumpet first, it often begins with a whisper, a nudge, a divine ripple. And you are standing in that ripple now. The wave is forming, and it will crash into your life with beautiful force. You will weep, not from fear, but from holy relief. You will not have to force it, beg for it, or perform for it. This was written for you long before the pain, the setbacks, the betrayals. The plan was always greater than the wound. The promise was always stronger than the storm. What the enemy declared over, what you nearly released, is now being resurrected by heaven's own hand. I have been sent to prepare you, for what use is a miracle if the heart is too wounded to receive it? What use is an open door if you've grown too accustomed to rejection to even knock? That is why God sent me to speak to you now, not to impress or frighten you, but to awaken you. For you have been half asleep, haven't you? Surviving but not fully alive, moving through motions, making yourself small, letting days pass without expecting wonder. But that is not who you were created to be. You are heaven's evidence on earth, a living prophecy, a walking answer to prayers your ancestors once cried in the dark. Now you are being positioned, not by luck or coincidence, but by divine instruction. That restlessness you felt, that quiet frustration, it is not depression. It is your spirit declaring, it is time. It is the angel within you awakening. And I confirm, yes, it is time. Time to cease shrinking. Time to stop awaiting permission. Time to receive. And above all, time to believe again. You have carried a quiet ache no one fully understood. You've smiled through spiritual weight, laughed while barely breathing inside, stood strong for others while crumbling in private. All the while, heaven watched, not to judge, but to record. Every tear, every silent cry, every moment you kept peace while longing to be seen, heard, chosen, none of it was in vain. Not one second, step, or sacrifice. They have been gathered as sacred offerings, now forming the foundation of what is released into your life. This miracle is not merely compensation, it is divine justice. You are not being rewarded for perfection, but elevated for endurance. Because you did not curse the process. Because even with a broken heart, you remained open to love. Because even when prayers seemed delayed, you whispered, Amen. That faith, beloved, moves the heart of God. That faith mobilizes angels. That faith is why I stand here declaring, what you are about to receive will not only restore you, it will rewrite what was taken. Parts of your story felt like cruel errors, people who left, doors that slammed, chapters ending abruptly. You've carried unanswered questions, striving to make peace with the unfinished. But the truth is, they had to exit, not because you were unworthy of their presence, but because their presence could not withstand the weight of your coming elevation. Some connections were only scaffolding, temporary supports for your early growth. Now the structure is complete, the foundation solid. What enters your life next is not temporary, it is eternal in nature. The friendships, resources, opportunities, love now approaching are sent from a higher realm. These are not surface blessings, they are divine alignments forged in spiritual fire, rooted in the soil of your destiny. That is why you walked alone so long, so when this alignment arrives, you will not mistake it for coincidence. You will recognize it by its feel, familiar, peaceful, sacred. That is how you will know. That is how you will remember this moment, the moment heaven whispered, "Now." My child, you have no idea how close you are. You've journeyed so long through shadows, setbacks, and silence that you nearly forgot the feeling of standing on the edge of holiness. But you stand there now. A vibration moves in the spirit realm, circling your name, your home, the places you've wept, the rooms where you've prayed, the moments you raised hands in surrender when nothing else remained. You did not realize you were being prepared to receive what you thought was lost. But heaven is not like humanity, God does not lose track of his promises. What he pledged to you in secret is about to appear in public. Very soon, you will experience a moment where time seems to slow. You will feel it in your body, your chest will tighten, your soul will snap to attention. You will know, this is it. The moment heaven prepared, the one your spirit awaited. It may be a phone call, a name, a divine encounter that changes everything in minutes. It will be undeniable, leaving no room for doubt. When it comes, remember, you did not earn this through perfection. You were chosen because of your endurance. This is not only about you, it never was. Your breakthrough will unlock something for others. Your life will become a signal. People will look at you and believe again. They will say, if God did that for them, he can for me too. That is why the battle over your life was so fierce. That is why warfare came in waves. You are not merely another soul, you are a carrier of glory, a divine turning point clothed in flesh. I, Archangel Michael, have watched over your story from the beginning. I know every detail, what you survived without applause, the betrayals you absorbed, the prayers buried in your pillow because no one could hold your truth. I know, and heaven knows. And because of this, heaven has ruled in your favor. The scales have tipped. The verdict is rendered. The outcome is this: your life will never be the same after this message. There is a reason this message refused to be skipped. A reason your spirit paused when your mind wanted to scroll away. Something within you knew this is not just a message, it is a spiritual intervention, a divine interception. You have reached a threshold, and the next step is too vital to take without hearing from heaven. That is why I was sent, not to repeat what you know, but to deliver what was withheld until the moment your heart was strong enough to receive it. That moment is now. You are not the same person you were last year, last month, or last week. You have outgrown patterns, people, versions of yourself built for survival but never meant for your future. That is why things are shifting, breaking, ending. It is not chaos, it is clarity. The shaking is not destroying you, it is removing what no longer fits your calling. This transformation is sacred, loud in the spirit, often quiet in the natural. You have felt it, the strange emptiness, the pull away from noise, the ache for solitude without loneliness. It is your soul rearranging itself before heaven moves in with new instructions. Listen now more than ever, for something is being handed to you in the unseen. If you move too quickly or numb yourself, you might miss the instructions hidden in the signs. They will not be written in sky fire, they will be felt in your body, your dreams, your daily encounters. That is how heaven speaks when the message is personal, and this one is deeply personal. You prayed, God, show me a sign. This message, this very paragraph, is that sign. The reason this page holds you is because your destiny has stepped forward. Your guardian angel sounds an alarm, not from fear, but from urgency. This is your moment, not metaphorically, but literally, energetically, eternally. If you respond now with presence, not panic, you will witness how swiftly the divine moves. Things you thought would take years will collapse into weeks. Miracles you ceased asking for will arrive wrapped in peace. Your entire atmosphere will shift, unexplained to those around you. But you will know, because the miracle began here. My child, receive this with the full weight of heaven behind these words. You were never forgotten. Even when the world turned away, when trusted ones vanished, when prayers echoed into what felt like nothingness, heaven never stopped watching. I never left your side. In fact, I stood closest in those invisible moments when pain was too deep for words and silence too heavy to bear. When the world grows quiet, heaven leans in. The silence you endured was not abandonment, it was consecration. You were being set apart for what the ordinary cannot contain. That is why nothing ordinary ever satisfied you. You were not born for the common path. You were born to shift timelines, to carry light where others fear to tread. Yes, it has cost you, in heartbreak, delay, betrayal. But the cost was never wasted, it was investment. Every tear sown as seed. Now those seeds have reached maturity. The harvest arrives. I say this as one who guards the gates of divine promise. You stand on a threshold where pain cannot follow. That grief stops here. That confusion ends now. That long-standing fear that shadowed you dissolves in the light rising within. You walked alone so that when this miracle arrives, you will know it was not from man. You will know it was not luck, charm, or strategy. You will know it was God, for no one else could orchestrate this restoration. No one else could reverse what was meant to destroy you. And that is precisely what happens now, a reversal, a heavenly overturning of what the enemy thought was sealed. God has undone the verdict, overturned the limitation. Now, in this hour, locked things unlock. Delayed blessings rush forward. Spiritual gates swing open. Your name has been announced in the courts of heaven. There is no more waiting, only receiving. But receiving requires readiness. That is why this message reached you. This is no coincidence. It is divine activation, heaven's way of saying, beloved, get ready. Your soul has passed the test. Now the miracle is released. There is a rhythm in the heavens to which you have been dancing, even in pain, a divine timing that has guided your steps even when they felt lost. Nothing in your journey has been random. The delays, betrayals, departures, even the shattering moments, were woven into a greater choreography your soul agreed to before you took first breath. That is why your ache feels different from others. That is why the weight you carry is so specific, so hard to explain. Your path is sacred. You were never made for life's shallow end. You were always meant for deeper waters, heavier glory, to touch the hem of miracles others only read about. The pressure nearly crushed you, but it did not. The darkness almost swallowed you, but it could not, because something eternal lives within you, beloved. And that is what heaven now awakens fully, the part of you always destined to rise. The version of you the world tried to bury under guilt, shame, survival, and silence, she awakens now. He rises now. This message is not to impress you, it is to ignite you. For what comes next will require all of you, not the wounded, dimmed version, but the true, royal, radiant self you long concealed. You will no longer need permission to shine. You will not apologize for occupying space. You will not second-guess your intuition, your power, your light. The blessing released is not merely physical, it is energetic. The air around you changes. People will react to you differently. Some will draw near, some will fall away. Do not be surprised. It is the vibration of your elevation sorting your atmosphere. Do not chase what detaches. Do not mourn what heaven removes. You are being restructured from within, making room for what you once thought lost forever. But nothing is lost in God's eyes. It merely awaited in another dimension until you were ready. Heaven now declares you ready. That is why this message feels alive in your bones, why you cannot stop reading. Your spirit knows, this is the moment I have awaited my entire life. Pause and breathe. Understand how far you have come, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, energetically. You are not the same person who cried themselves to sleep, wondering if anyone cared, if anything would change, if life would ever make sense. You have evolved. You have survived waves meant to drown you. You have faced nights that would have shattered most hearts beyond repair. And still, here you are, breathing, reading, rising. That is not weakness, beloved, it is proof of divine resilience. You kept going not because you had all answers, but because something holy breathed within you even when you wanted to quit. Heaven noticed. Your endurance was seen. Your hidden tears are recorded in God's archives. There were nights I stood over you as you slept, warring in silence, protecting your calling, pushing back forces that sought to crush your light. You felt the weight but never saw the battle, for angels shielded your mind. Now the storm has passed. The test has become testimony. It is time to reclaim your inheritance. You were never meant to live in survival mode. You were born to walk in supernatural flow. And I promise you, as surely as heaven breathes, that flow returns to your life now. This is why everything lately feels unfamiliar, why once comforting places now feel uneasy, why once close people seem distant, why former desires feel empty. It is not confusion, it is recalibration. God is pulling your spirit into alignment with what is already unfolding in the realm of miracles. You have outgrown certain energies. Your soul can no longer tolerate what does not match your next chapter. You are shedding, not just pain, but patterns, not just relationships, but identities. The false self you adopted to survive trauma is no longer needed. It is safe now to be you. Heaven backs this emergence with all its glory. This is not just healing, it is a holy reintroduction. A homecoming to the self that waited patiently beneath the rubble of expectation, rejection, and spiritual fatigue. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are being resurrected. And resurrection never resembles the past, it looks like power, fresh and unstoppable. That power rises within you now. Soon, the world will feel it. For when heaven finishes writing this chapter, no one will deny that God's hand has been upon your life all along. My beloved, there is something you must understand now, something heaven is urging you to grasp before this moment passes. When God prepares a breakthrough of this magnitude, He first quiets the noise around you. That is why distractions have fallen away. That is why certain conversations no longer satisfy you. That is why your spirit has felt restless yet strangely alert. This is not emptiness. This is clearing. Heaven is making space so the miracle can land without interference. You may have noticed that your tolerance for what once drained you has diminished. Situations you used to endure now feel unbearable. This is not weakness. This is alignment. Your spirit is recalibrating to a higher standard. You are no longer meant to survive in environments that once shaped you. You are meant to transform them or leave them behind. And heaven is giving you the discernment to know the difference. There is also a decision approaching you, one that may appear small on the surface but carries immense spiritual consequence. It will require you to choose faith over familiarity, obedience over comfort, stillness over haste. When that moment arrives, do not rush. Listen inwardly. The peace you feel will be your confirmation. Heaven often speaks not through urgency, but through calm certainty. My child, understand this as well, the miracle coming to you is not only an answer, it is an assignment. What God is restoring in you will overflow through you. Others will find courage because you endured. Others will find hope because you did not quit. Others will recognize God again because your life becomes living evidence that waiting is not wasted. Your testimony will not be loud, but it will be undeniable. There will be a moment soon when you realize you are no longer asking God for reassurance. You will notice that fear no longer has the same authority over your thoughts. Worry will attempt to speak, but it will sound unfamiliar, distant, powerless. That is how you will know the shift has taken root. When the miracle truly arrives, it does not announce itself with chaos. It settles you. Do not be surprised if joy arrives quietly at first. Not the kind that overwhelms, but the kind that steadies you. A deep knowing. A grounded confidence. A sense that even if everything is not yet visible, everything is finally secure. This is how heaven confirms permanence. What God brings now is not temporary. It will not require you to fight to keep it. My beloved, the season ahead will teach you a new way of living. You will move slower, but with greater authority. You will speak less, but with greater weight. You will no longer chase affirmation, because you will carry it. And those who recognize the change will not be able to explain it. They will simply feel it. Remember this moment. Remember how your spirit leaned in instead of turning away. Remember how something within you said, "Stay." That obedience, quiet and unseen, is what unlocked what comes next. Heaven responds to those who listen when no one is watching. And now, as this message settles within you, release the urge to analyze or question it. Simply receive. Let the work be done beyond your understanding. The miracle does not require your effort, only your openness. What is meant for you cannot miss you now. Stay at peace, my child. What was delayed is resolved. What was hidden is revealed. What was withheld is released. And what begins now will mark your life from this day forward. My beloved, there is a reason your spirit feels unusually alert right now, as though something invisible has brushed against your awareness. This is not imagination. This is recognition. Your soul remembers this frequency. Long before your present struggles, long before your present name or form, your spirit agreed to moments like this. Moments when heaven would draw near and remind you who you truly are. That remembrance is awakening now. You may notice that memories are surfacing unexpectedly. Faces from the past. Words once spoken. Paths you thought were closed forever. Do not resist this. Heaven is reviewing your story with you, not to reopen wounds, but to reveal meaning. What once felt random will soon reveal order. What once felt cruel will soon reveal protection. What once felt like loss will soon reveal redirection. There is also something important you must hear clearly. The miracle unfolding does not require you to return to who you were. It requires you to step forward as who you have become. Do not shrink back into old habits out of fear. Do not apologize for growth. Do not explain your boundaries. Growth often feels lonely right before alignment arrives. My child, understand this. Some people will only recognize you at the level where they last had access to you. When you rise beyond that level, they may misunderstand you. Let them. You are not being called to be understood by everyone. You are being called to be faithful to what is awakening within you. Heaven does not measure approval by popularity, but by obedience. There will come a moment soon when you are tempted to doubt again. Not because the miracle has vanished, but because it is unfolding quietly. When that moment comes, remember this truth: silence after a promise is not absence. It is confirmation. Heaven moves most decisively when it does not need to announce itself. You are entering a season where discernment will matter more than effort. Not everything that looks urgent is important. Not everything that shines is meant for you. Your peace will become your compass. If something costs you your peace, it is too expensive, no matter how attractive it appears. Beloved, you are also being prepared to release control. You have carried responsibility for too long, shouldered outcomes that were never yours to manage. Heaven now asks you to trust what it has already arranged. Let go of the need to foresee every step. Faith does not require sight, only alignment. You will soon notice that doors open with less resistance. Conversations shift naturally. Help arrives without begging. These are not coincidences. These are indicators that the spiritual atmosphere around you has changed. When alignment is restored, effort decreases and flow increases. My child, do not rush this unfolding. Miracles rooted in eternity are not fragile. They do not vanish if you move slowly. They are not threatened by patience. What is coming is secured. It does not depend on your perfection, only your presence. And finally, hear this and let it settle deeply: you are safe now. Not because circumstances are perfect, but because heaven has stepped forward on your behalf. The striving season has ended. The guarding season has begun. You are not walking alone into what comes next. Remain still. Remain open. Remain willing. What is unfolding now cannot be stopped.